What is the concrete shape of shura that you suggest? Secondly, will the decisions made by this shura be based on consensus or on majority decision? Thirdly, will the decisions of shura be binding on the ruler, or they will just be recommendatory, as was the Haq's shura?
Now, where to start? Number one, I did admit in the first instance that the non-Muslims in Islamic State are not equal citizens, not full citizens. Whether you like it or not, this is my opinion. In Islamic State, it's an ideological state, it's not a nation state. The professions, they can be doctors, they can be engineers, they can be businessmen, they can be teachers, teaching scientific disciplines. They can be in service. But only top position, where basic policy of the state is formed, only those will be accepted. Otherwise, business will be open to them, professions will be open to them. Go ahead. So this is the second point. And I have to be reminded by you what was the third point.
Even I thought
No, apartheid,
related to that, my question was that this type of society, ipso facto, will be a conflict-ridden society, not peace with itself.
In every society there is conflict between the haves and the have-nots. Apartheid was based on color, race, and the discrimination, you may call it, in an Islamic state is based on ideology. Any black person, any person belonging to any other race, any other region of the world can adopt the ideology and he can become the full citizen.
But sir, will it matter to me whether I have been discriminated against on the basis of my color or on the basis of my ideology? The fact remains that I have been discriminated.
In Islamic state, in all ideological states, there has to be a discrimination on the basis of ideology. Otherwise, it's not an ideological state.
Then does that not promote conflict?
Hmm?
Does that, by definition, then, as was asked here, not promote conflict? Be it discrimination because of color, we know that's promoted conflict. Because of race, we know that's promoted conflict. Or be it religion, we also know that's promoted conflict. So, will that not be the case here?
Is there any society absolutely free from conflict?
No, but the question is, will that promote it?
I told you yesterday about jihad. Every living being is making jihad. The struggle for existence, the conflict is there.
We're talking about conflicts between communities. And I think that we have one major recent example in Islamic history, the example of the Sudan. Because the Islamic government of the Sudan, after Bashir came to power in '89, under the influence of Hassan Turabi, wanted to implement Islamic law in the same way that you have been portraying here. And we know that the results have not been successful so far. Because that kind of implementation, in addition to other problems in the Sudan that go back to its own independence in 1954, there have been a major conflict between the Christian animistic South and the North Arab Islamic part of the Sudan. And we know that one of the major results of this conflict has been, in a sense, the weakening of the Islamic Front headed by Hassan Turabi, and the signing of the agreement only last week between John Karanj and the government of the Sudan. So in a sense, that conflict has seeped away, has destroyed the energies of the Sudan as a state, and the alternative has not been Islamic. What we see now is more coexistence between the Christians in the south and the Muslims in the north.
My comment is that Islam in Sudan was coming through majority, not through any revolution. Were the Muslims actually practicing Islam totally?
There was a military
Did they make any dawah? Yes, it was a military coup, that's all. I told you Islamic State, true Islamic State can be established only through a revolution. Not because.
Yeah.
He has yet to answer my question on the Shura.
That's right. I think he still has a few questions unanswered.
Yes, Shura in a modern Islamic State will be binding. Although parliamentary system is also mubah, permissible, and presidential also. But the presidential system today is nearer to the Islamic system. There is the chief executive and there is the Congress. And the chief executive is having his secretaries and ministers from wherever he likes, not from the Congress or the Senate. Because these two things have to be absolutely separate and distinct from each other. So this will be the case. Legislature will be the Shura, and it will be by majority. Only exception is that every citizen will have a right to knock the door of the superior courts, that this has transgressed the limits of the Sharia, because the item in the constitution would be no legislation can be done here at any level repugnant to the Quran and the Sunnah. And the chief executive will be the president. And that is nearer, to Islamic system. Yes, I think.
Paris, do you want to come in?
My question is related with the previous subject. Now just let us think that what you've said is totally correct and fits to Islam, Quran and Sunnah. But with thinking the very pragmatic side of it, that now if you have an Islamic State in Pakistan, if you will have with Islamic revolution and you will successful, how many people are living here now? I think about 140 million.
Yes.
And then around, I would say, around 1 billion people are in danger then, Muslims. Because, if you exclude the rest and then the Muslims living in other states will be excluded as well. If you exclude non-Muslims here, you treat them in second, say, not first-class citizen, but second-class citizen. I think this is coming from British rule of caste system, first-class citizen, second-class citizen. Then all the Muslims will be treated in the other part of the world as second-class citizens. And just very pragmatic way of thinking, I think this is dangerous for the rest of the Muslims. What is your comment on this?
Brother, if you think pragmatically, we should bow before George Bush, and here is the safety.
Well, if we study Prophet's life, there is a pragmatic way of
please let me say. But if you believe in something that is true, and your belief is there, you have to go by that. And if the Muslims in the non-Muslim majority countries are treated at par with the non-Muslims in Islamic State, I would be happy. They should have their mazhab. Their mazhab will be protected. And there will be minorities. I tell you, my study is that the Muslims in India have no benefit from this system, from secularism. None. And if they say we are a minority, give us our rights as a minority, they will be far better.
My questions, I've got two questions, one theological and one directly related to this. So if I take the latter first, if I take the question about